So here's the secret. That part of my brain, in this case, with that side of my brain that's going to send signals is the same side that's going to receive it in the recipient. Now, this is crucial because my daughter's come to me with a very activated right hemisphere. She's been rejected by her friends. She's feeling a lot of raw stuff in her body. She feels utsy. She doesn't feel good, basically, right? So my left brain, as a parent, could now solve a problem really fast. Well, I think you should do blah, 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 like that, whatever it is I say with my left brain. Which understandably loves her and wants to solve problems, but I'm missing the opportunity to connect. When there's a part of the brain that's very activated, I need to give signals to that part, right? So what are the ways I can give my daughter a right hemisphere connection before I might redirect her to problem solving? I could give her a hug, right? I could give her a hug like this and say, oh, that's really hard. School can be hard sometimes, like that. Not a bunch of words, not a bunch. The left likes to explain, the right likes to describe. That's how the right uses words. Big difference, explanations, descriptions. So I just give her a hug, I say, that must be really hard. Or being a kid is really hard sometimes.
It's really hard.
It's really hard. Now, what have I just done with my daughter? Connect. And what is the connection doing inside of her? It calms her down, exactly. There's nothing I could have said with my left brain that would have gotten her right brain to calm down. Nothing. But I can tune into her with my own right brain. Now, what that requires, of course, is I got to know what that feels like inside of me. Also, I've got to be willing to feel the pain my daughter's going through.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah. So if I haven't done the Parenting from the Inside Out book, seriously, and I was rejected a lot as a kid, and rejection is so overwhelming for me, I was constantly humiliated. So now I run camps all over the place so everyone's accepted, or whatever I do, or I start something called Facebook, or whatever I start.
It's another lecture.
I have no idea where that came from. Whatever I do, and I have no idea if that's true. That was just an offhanded comment. Whatever I do, the key thing now is I have to be open to what is. So if I have my own leftover garbage or unresolved trauma, this is going to be a moment where there's going to be a real rupture in my ability to soothe my daughter, which is what you see in about a third of the population. They haven't worked through their own stuff, so they can't be open to what is. So the next step, though, once you're open to what is, what do? You align, I can align my right hemisphere. So I give her a hug, I say, you know, it's really hard being a kid. And then we're just sitting there, and at that moment, is she alone anymore? No. It's actually taking care of the fundamental issue, which she was alone at school. If I just gave her a bunch of left brain problem solving immediately, I may do that in a few minutes, but if I did it at first, because the sequence is incredibly important here. So connect, and then we're sitting there, and then she goes, but what should I do? But I said, yeah, that's a good question. Let's problem solve. What do you think happened? And then now we're using our left brain to analyze what happened. She has autobiographical memory in her right. The left brain is going to use this sequence of things like what caused that rejection, and we can figure out what happened. And that's what we would do. So you want to first start with a right hemisphere to right hemisphere connection. And when you learn this, it actually becomes pretty natural. But when you don't know to do that, it seems almost like, why would you do that? She's talking about problems with her friends. Why would you hug her? You know, like that.
Well, even more so, what if she's saying, I hate you.
Yeah.
You are the worst father in the world, and I wish that you would die.
Do you really? So, you know, you'd have to give me a context for where that was happening.
I'm a teenager, and you won't let me go to a party. And
Excellent.
You are the worst parent in the world.
Yeah, great.
So at that point, I'm coming at you with my right side of my brain. It's hard to want to hug me.
No. At that moment, I probably wouldn't hug you. And you probably wouldn't want to receive a hug.
Right. So
either,
is that a similar...
aiming it toward me. Well, there would be the same thing. There, the thing is inside of me, I have to feel my heart pounding when you say it. I've got to have the openness to know that's your experience. I got to know that these are things that come and go. And I've got to be able to stay present with that. And, you know, it depends on what the context is, what my move would be. But I might want to just say, you know, that's really hard to hate your dad, isn't it?
That's hard to do.
That's hard to do. But depending on the context, that's what I would do.